Welcome back everyone, this is Staring from Staring Gaming. Today we're running the heroic version of Scholomance. Now the heroic version was accessible through the Mists of Pandaria's expansion. And as you see, we're going to go first person mode in this one. Your quests actually start right here with the Talking Skull. 4 tomes, and End of Suffering, which has you kill the last boss. Now the skull will follow you like room to room, more or less.
Class is now in session.
And as you can see, the first boss is in the first room right off the bat. Now, Instructor Chillheart is a two-faced fight, more or less. During the fight, an ice wall will be forming on this side of the room, slowly encroaching on you. If she's not defeated by the time that ice wall gets to you, your whole group will die instantly. Her Rack Soul is a heroic difficulty, where she shadows the soul of a player, inflicting shadow damage for 10 seconds. When that expires, it goes to another player. Now, Ice Raft is she'll put a reef of ice for 10 seconds, causing frost damage and damage to anyone within a certain distance every second. Now, for the tanks, Touch of the Grave causes her next 10 melee attacks to cause frost damage. The first grab, she summons ice at the player's location that explodes from the ground, inflicting frost damage to all nearby players. Now, when you defeat her, she'll go into her physical body will disappear, and her pile-axis will be what's left open that you have to destroy. During the fight, there will be tomes running around casting different spells. One will be the Arcane Bomb, which inflicts arcane damage within a certain distance of all players. Burn, it's fire damage to whoever gets in distance of when it's casting. And basically, Shadow Bolt, which will shoot at random players doing shadow damage. Now for this boss, there's actually an easy way to clear this room with this boss. Which simply, honestly, if you jump down here, kill this ad, and then just hit this at the boss.
Class dismissed.
When you hit the boss,
I can never die. This cannot be!
if you kill the ad here first and range attack the boss, all the ads but the roaming risen guards will be left standing. It's quite a quick way to clean the room out, but you don't get loot from these guys when you do that. Now, loot comes off here from the pilot seat, but it also makes it easier for you to grab the first book right here. And as you see, the Talking Skull will move ahead of you. The next room is just a bunch of ads that you can easily burn down. But the book is located within here too as well. But our next boss, when you get up to the end, is Jandis Barbo. Now for tanks, you gotta be careful for Wondrous Rapidity. Basically, she starts attacking, doing massive arcane damage in a cone in front of her. Just move out of the way and you're fine. Now heroic, she has Gravity Flux. She creates a gravity distortion field that inflicts shadow damage to all people who enter it. Basically stay out of it. Knocking them back and causing them to go blind, so that sucks. Now, her special ability is known as Phantasmal Images. 66% and 33%, she'll dissipate in thin air, creating multiple illusions of herself. You gotta destroy the one illusion she hides behind to force her back in the fray. Now, you gotta remember what she exactly looks like, her weapon, and all that stuff to find the right illusion. Each of them will have, if you find the one that looks exactly like her and destroy it, you're fine. But specifically on heroic, if you destroy the wrong image, you get Flashbang, which inflicts arcane damage to everyone. Now the World Illusion, she causes arcane damage every second, so you need to find the right illusion ASAP. And I believe the achievement for here is to actually destroy the correct illusion and not destroy any of the wrong ones. And as we got lucky this time, the book doesn't always spawn here. It could have spawned it on the other side, but we're good. So we're just going to go and take out the boss.
Oh, it takes some real stones to challenge the mistress of illusion. Well, show me what you've got.
And as you can see, her achievement is attention to detail. Defeating her without eliminating a false image during the boss fight on Heroic. Now our next boss is Rattlegore. Before we go in there to activate that boss, we're just going to go over this. For tanks, this is something you need to be aware of. Rusting, dull blades of each increases the damage he takes, but he lowers his movement speed and attack speed. So once you get enough stacks, you need to just kite this guy around. I would say back then we went, I believe, 5 to 7 stacks, and then with the tank run around, because you don't want to take stacking up 15 damage. At 5 stacks, that is 75% extra damage you're taking. So you want to be kiting him around and not get hit. Now, Bone Spike is an ability Rattlegore. He launches a powerful attack at a random player, which causes massive physical damage and knocking you back a great distance. If you have Bone Armor on you, it absorbs all the effects of Bone Spike. No damage and no knockback. Now, Soul Flame, the souls of the dead Bone Weavers consider the torment periodically engulfing a section of the room in Soul Flame. Flame inflicts fire damage every half second and will grow in size. Now during a fight, you'll see bone piles. This is how you get the bone armor. By clicking on it, you get the bone armor buff for 5 minutes.
My dear, it appears we have visitors. Friends of yours, Voss?
You there. Make yourselves useful and deal with these summoners.
Now to start this fight, you have to kill all 6 summoners
Their
here.
deaths only serve to empower my summoner. What's the matter, Voss? Getting tired? Isn't it beautiful? The weaving of flesh and bone and soul.
But be careful. For each one you kill, you get a buff known as power summoning.
Once I've ripped out your throat.
Basically, every time you kill one, they summon more skeletons.
Voss. My dear, you should embrace this gift that has been bestowed upon you.
Your life ends once I catch my breath.
Come, Voss. Your fate awaits you.
Now you see I also got an achievement. For this achievement, you have to defeat him without letting 5 stacks of rusting happen in heroic mode. Now I'm not sure if this was the room or not, but back then, there was actually a boss here that had a quest chain that you had to get the item to summon him. I'm not sure if this is the correct room, but I'm pretty sure it is. If you want to see that boss, honestly, Classic will have him back up to do that. Now another little tidbit is, there's a small chance a rare will actually spawn in here and drop a toy that will let you turn into one of these guys. Now there's also an achievement that corresponds with these guys as well, where I believe you have to let one of them get to 99 stacks of this buff known as Boiling Bloodthirst. Now, more or less, it would require you to try to pull all of them. Now, we're going to try to see. I'm not sure if I already got it on this character, but we'll find out.
It's blood, so delicious.
Too far away.
Spurts of crimson.
Now you see it doubles every time.
They begin pouring and clotting.
There we go. Sangularian. Defeat a Carver that has 99 stacks of boiling blood first on heroic mode. And as you see for the third book, it spawned right here, but it can spawn on anywhere in this room. So you have to be aware. Now this actually used to be, I believe, the room that leads you to Janice Barbo's old boss room. Like I said, I have to go back into Classic to be sure, but I'm pretty sure she used to actually be down this hallway. As for Rattlegore, his room was over here. There's actually a bone pit down there, if I remember right. Now we're actually coming up to the next boss, is Lillian Voss. There's 3 stages in this fight. Now, the Dark Master pretty much mind controls Voss to go against us, empowering her abilities. Her abilities will be Shadow Shift. She'll leap onto a player and strike them with both her rune blades, inflicting shadow damage to everyone within a certain distance. Her Death's Grasp draws all players to her location. In Dark Blaze, periodic summons a patch of dark fire at a player's location, inflicting damage every half second. Now, Stage 2 happens when she reaches 6% health, when Dark Master forcibly rips her soul from her body. Then Lillian's soul will attack the player. During this time, her soul will use Blazing Soul, which periodically will do fire damage to everyone. Her Unleash Anguish is unleashed when she hits for any melee strike. She gets to unleash another stack of Brazen Soul. However, her movement speed is significantly reduced. So, this is the important part here. She has a fixate ability, known as Fixate Anger. Basically, whoever she is fixated on needs to stay away from her, so she doesn't land hits, which will cause Blazing Soul to happen. Basically, it's a kiting fight. Now, when her soul actually gets to 1 HP, her soul fades into the spirit realm and can't be attacked. Then, the Dark Master reanimates her body physically to fight along her soul. Now, the soul, her body will have the same abilities as Stage 1, as you can see. Shadow Shift, Death Grasp, and Dark Blaze. Now, when you knock her physical body down to 1%, the fight ends. It should take it to the Dark Master, inflicting a wound upon him.
I need to get closer.
Did you forget, girl? I am the Dark Master. I command the undead.
I won't let you.
Now turn your lovely rune blades on our guests and fetch me their bones.
Now, back then, we could actually, depending on my group makeup, we could actually burn her down before she even went to Phase 2. Because you got, I think, roughly 10 seconds before he rips her soul out. So we would burst everything we had when that happened. And I would say 50-50 chance we actually defeated her before Phase 2 even happened.
I can't fight him.
What?
Die, necromancer!
The bones! Oh, you wretch!
Leave me to die alone, please.
We all know Voss doesn't die that easily. Just like Commander Belmont. Those two just don't know when to stay down. Now, the final book you'll need for the quest is actually located in here. Now, this guy is kind of like a mini-boss, which you could defeat, which helps you with the last boss fight. Now, normally the book will spawn up here, but sometimes it spawns down there with the students. Now, this room can be a bit tricky about how you do the pulls. Honestly, your best bet is just to line of sight pull. Group by group, line of sight. That's at least my opinion. But a lot of people just jump in and end up pulling the whole room. And less than 0.5% of the time, they don't survive the fight. You get swarmed. That's the downside. Plain and simple. These guys can swarm the groups if you're not careful. And I see the books right here, but usually you can find it up there. Now, Professor Slate, defeating him will give you this sometimes, depending who loots. Which, if you drink this Palm or Acid Potion, your attacks and spells have a chance to do additional nature damage against Dark Master and his minions. Now, if you looted this, the Acid Vial, you can actually store this and have a nice little toy that you could play with if you want to transform into him. Now, I think this has multiple uses before it's empty. If you ever want to refill it, you have to come back here, defeat him, and then refill. Now, as you see, we can hand in the quest before we start.
It's too far away.
Now, the Dark Master is the last. Now, he's basically a warlock, more or less, a necromancer / warlock. Now, he has Incinerate, which does fire damage to the current target, Emoliate, which burns the target for fire damage and inflicts damage over time. Now, Rise, he summons up a legion of failed students to fight for him. They'll swarm the area, fighting anything they can get their hands on. While this spell is getting channeled, the Dark Master actually takes less damage. 50% less damage. Now, Harsh Lessons, they'll choose a random player to teleport into one of the study rooms. In the study rooms, there will be 2 types of mobs. Expired test subjects and fresh test subjects. Now, the fresh test subjects have explosive pain, which is a magical effect. If you dispel this on the fresh subject, they unleash an explosion of magical energy, inflicting damage to all expired test subjects within it. Now, there's an achievement using these guys to kill a ton of these. Unfortunately, I haven't got that yet, but you need basically a full group so everyone can get teleported in and pull them. Now, we're just going to run down here and end this fight here.
If you haven't come to study, I'll use you to teach a lesson.
And we'll show you who the real identity of the Talking Skull is.
School is in session. Class dismissed.
And now you see he's drained souling him, or regaining his soul, you could say. And see, it is Lord Alexei Barvo, the true master of Scholomance. After you hand in your quest, you won't see him again, more or less. He just fades away. But this has been Heroic Scholomance. This is Asterion from Asterion Gaming, asking you to please hit that like button and subscribe as well. And also to go check out the Twitch channel. And also to check out all the other videos on my channel. Until I see you guys, have a good day.